All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. First game of the regular season. I am so excited this has already started.
The NFL season is finally here, Jose. Cannot believe it. It's been a long summer.
Yeah. We've been talking about football since March of this year, and we are just absolutely ecstatic that the season has already started with the Buffalo Bills, the AFC
Favorites.
The AFC favorites for this year, and the Rams, who are second favorites in our opinion here at RJ Talks.
Mm-hmm.
We expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to make another appearance in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But the Rams are not that far behind them.
Yeah.
They're still looking strong, and during our halftime commentary, we are definitely going to comment on all of that. So with all that being said, I'm Jose.
And I'm Ricardo.
And welcome back to RJ Talks. All right, Ricardo, first things first. Let's go ahead and rewind back to the Super Bowl.
Yes, we can.
Last year. Obviously, the Rams took it all over the Cincinnati Bengals. Shortly after that, Andrew Whitworth announced his retirement.
Yep.
Yes. And, I mean, phenomenal player.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've seen a lot more history from him, Ricardo, so what do you think about it?
Oh, definitely a fringe Hall of Fame player, Jose. Like, I wouldn't say he'd get in, but, like, he's very, very good. Like, he's been consistent enough. The Rams definitely solidified their line when they traded for him back when he was just 37 years old, and he played good for them. He ended up playing past the age of 40 as a great, solid starter. We're going to get into him, that left tackle position a little later, but they're definitely going to miss him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that's not to say that the team is hopeless without him.
Yeah.
They obviously have plenty more talent that we have already seen make some kind of statement here in the first half of the game.
Absolutely.
For example, we have that touchdown pass that was made by Cooper Kupp. Right, he's still showing himself to be a prominent wide receiver in the league up against an elite defense.
He out-juked an all-pro safety, Jose, one of the top safeties in the NFL in Jordan Poyer. It was very impressive to watch.
And it was a very tight catch as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
if anybody is if anybody has seen the game already, by the time this episode is published, go ahead and just watch that highlight reel. Go ahead and watch that highlight reel as soon as you can. Watch that very technical pass
and catch
that was made by both Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. Now, on top of that too, that 68-yard field goal by Matt Gay just before
58.
58.
Yeah,
okay.
57.
Yeah, so it was 58.
It was good from 68. That's what we saw on the screen here.
Gotcha. Okay,
58.
so it was good from 68.
58.
But it was made from 58.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, either way, man, from
incredible kick, though.
Nearly 60 yards away. I mean, it's looking like it's going to be another year filled with solid kickers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so far, if he's the one that's going to be making the statement. So, on top of that as well, we have an interception in the second quarter against Hill on the Rams.
Yeah.
So that was, or against Josh Allen rather, made by Hill.
Made by Troy Hill. Yeah, it was great play by Troy Hill, fighting back for the football as opposed to the receiver. He gained position and was able to get the interception. Ball was a little late by Josh Allen, but as a receiver, it's either an incompletion or you catch it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, flipping over to the Buffalo Bills, it's still looking like Josh Allen is coming back with some vengeance this year.
Dude, he's had 3 incompletions alone. The first one was an interception that didn't seem like it was his fault in my standards. Second one could be argued his fault, and then another incompletion. Guy's 17 of 20 to start off the game.
Yeah.
He is coming off angry and with a vengeance and looking to prove those people that want the Bills have winning the Super Bowl right. He wants to try to prove that right, and he's just been stone-faced the whole game, dude.
Absolutely.
So far.
It hasn't shown an inkling of emotion, positive or negative, for that matter, right? Even after that interception, he still seemed like, the focused quarterback that we've seen the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
On his side of the ball. So I'm not entirely worried about his performance throughout the rest of the game. However, I am worried for the Rams because Von Miller, the former Ram, just made his first sack of the season in the first quarter.
Yep.
So, what do you think about that, Ricardo? I mean, the fact that Von Miller is able to make this kind of play on his old team.
It just shows that he still has plenty of left in the tank, and we just talked about Andrew Whitworth. He showed the weakness of the Rams is that Joe Noteboom, he's an okay player, but Von Miller's still showing he has some of that elite pass rush ability in play to play. And he also made an excellent tackle on Cooper Kupp to keep it from a second and 19 to a third and 20.
For sure.
That screen pass right before the long field goal. Even though they quick the field goal, that's still impressive that he's able to make impact plays. First game of the season when you just want him to do good for you in the playoffs. He seems like he's really stepping up for this Buffalo's defense.
It looks like so far, and it might be a stretch to say this, but it looks like so far Josh Allen is just as focused as he could be this entire season.
Yeah.
And already to start off, it's like you said, 17 for 20, 2 interceptions, unfortunately, but that's just the first game of the season.
Yeah.
Right. And he still has the team that they had last year around him.
Oh yeah.
Right. With the exception of some new additions, right? But they're not even on his side of the ball.
Yeah.
Right. However, you're really starting to see Stephon Diggs come into his own as well. Yeah, just phenomenal route.
That key 3rd and 7, Jose, when he beat Ramsey from the get-go. Ramsey's no slouch. He's arguably best corner in the league, and the fact that he beat him route running, it just shows his ability and his chemistry with Josh Allen. They did that back shoulder pass very perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I wanted to bring up, and maybe just in an effort to make our podcast a little more interactive.
Yeah.
For all of you that are listening, go ahead and go into the comments. Wow. Excuse me. Yeah, go ahead and head into the comments and make your pick your side, right? Because we were having this debate of who is the better route runner, Stephon Diggs or Cooper Kupp. Yeah. So if you guys would like to have that, go right ahead. It looks like the game is already starting up again, so we will see you guys at postgame.
We will see you guys back.
All right, so our post-game report. The Bills absolutely destroyed the LA Rams. Now, let's rewind back to our prediction.
Yeah.
Okay, we thought that this was going to be a much closer game than it was. We thought that the Bills, we still got that right. We got it right that the Bills were going to beat the Rams, but we thought it was going to be like a 3-point deficit, not a 21-point deficit.
Yeah, keep in mind, dude, this game was tied at halftime. It was like 10-10. It was still very much in the balance as far as who was going to take over this game.
Right.
And take over. And did we see who took over this game in a hurry, man.
Right away.
Yeah.
Right away. And it seems so expeditious as well. Well, a few interesting things, right?
Yeah.
The Bills sacked Matt Stafford 7 times throughout that game. Von Miller, who was a former LA Ram, who won the Super Bowl with this team, had 2 of those sacks, was responsible for 2 of those sacks.
Yep.
And they're not even half sacks. They were just full-on sacks. Like, he was the one that got to Matthew Stafford.
Yep.
Yeah. On top of that, too, Devin Singletary was easily the MVP of this game. All right. Now, Josh Allen, a very close second, and he was just absolutely phenomenal. But Devin Singletary delivered on all of those run plays.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just an absolute beast.
Oh, absolutely. When they needed to establish their presence and their dominance in the ground game, they did toss power right. You saw old school football, Jose. You saw 2 tight end sets. You saw them tossing them to the left, tossing it to the right, and really pushing that Rams defensive line around, which is very surprising. But I don't know, without Von Miller, they're looking like a different D-line altogether because they were establishing their will. And then after that, you got a 6'6" quarterback who's over 250 pounds trying to establish his dominance and running it down their throats. Man, the Bills really took it to him. That's all I can say. Well, for now, it's just I'll add a little more later. But geez, man.
All of us, the 2 of us here at RJ Talks, were just also very worried. Just on the topic of Josh Allen, we were also very worried that he was running it as much as he was.
Yeah.
Right, because we don't want him, number 1, getting so tired so early in the game, and number 2, possibly getting injured so early in the season. Because that team, as complete as that team is, Josh Allen is the piece. Josh Allen is the glue that holds that offense together, especially.
And there was a run earlier in the game where it wasn't the more exciting one, like he got like 2 yards, but there was one, you and I saw this, Jose, and we were like, oh my goodness, where he was running one of the Rams player held up his leg, and there was 3 guys trying to push him back, and he was still on his leg, standing. And then one other guy took him down. Took 4 guys to take him down. He got up after that play, and he had a big smile on his face. Like, oh my! Like he was the whole game. We saw like he had shown no emotion at that point. And then when he scored his first touchdown, you saw a smile on his face. Then the second time was that play right there when it took 4 Rams to take him down.
It's just amazing to see him smile throughout the latter half of the game, because at that point it's as if he knew that they had it in the bag.
Yeah.
Right. He was just so confident in his ability to help lead the team to that victory.
No, absolutely.
On top of that too, we can't overlook this moment in the game where Josh Allen stiff-armed a Rams defender straight down, number 33 Scott. Yeah. And just seeing something like that, and the way that he was able to just completely push a defender off of him was outstanding on his end of the ball. Now,
and there was a lot of talk before this game, dude, where there was a lot of pressure, like, will the Bills actually live up to the hype? Can Josh Allen perform and show that he's worthy to be the MVP favorite?
Absolutely.
And the Super Bowl favorites? And then he took it by the throat and stiff-armed that defender like he was like, this is my time. Like, he's like, I am ready for this at the moment. He did not back down at all. Now, granted, he threw 2 interceptions, what we're not crazy about, but the second half of the game was much, much more cleaner.
Oh, absolutely.
Much more cleaner.
Yeah.
And specifically because the first interception, I wouldn't consider his fault, dude. It was more the linebacker was able to muscle it away from the receiver.
Absolutely.
The second one, he was late. He was late on the pass, but that could have been an incompletion. But his stats were phenomenal. 26 of 31, 297 yards and 3 touchdowns with 2 picks. Those touchdowns came at important moments in the game where he rolls to his right and he throws a 50-yard bomb to Stephon Diggs right over Jalen Ramsey's head.
It's amazing.
Like,
incredible.
It was something to watch, dude. Not at all what we were expecting. No, we're here for it. We're here to see something new and different that catches us off guard. But that's what makes the NFL great, dude.
Absolutely.
Seeing stuff like this.
And I was just mentioning this to you off the mic as well. This team is in my division.
Yeah.
This team, the New England Patriots are my team, as everybody, all the listeners know by now, is the New England Patriots are my team. The AFC, and my division, the AFC East, the Bills are going to be dominating this division. There's no question about it. So I think at this point in time, it's completely okay for me to just lay down and say, hey, you know what? These guys are going to lead. These guys are going to lead the team. These guys are going to lead the NFL, and it looks like they're going to be leading the conference, most definitely.
Yeah, and let me add a little more technicality as far as what the Bills did all game against the Rams.
For sure.
They blitzed a couple times, but the whole game it was 2 deep safety with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde in the back end, 15-yard steep, saying you can take the underneath stuff, but we're not going to allow you to beat as deep with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp got a couple 20-yard plays like here and there, but it was never anything over their heads, and it definitely allowed them to condense the pocket with, what did I say, Joe Noteboom on the left tackle spot. He had a rough game today. Very rough game.
He did.
And when they had a 5-on-4 pass rush, it was very, very beautiful to watch. They played a lot of zone coverage in this game, but what really gets me excited, Tre'Davious White wasn't playing in this game. He was out for the game.
Their best corner
in the team.
Right.
You had a bunch of young players getting some experience, some reps there, and they did a phenomenal job against the Rams receivers. They triple team Cooper Kupp most of the time, but that's what you want. You don't want the best player to beat you. You want to force the other ones to beat your others. And the Rams others could not come over the Bills others. And it's very exciting defense to watch, dude. Tough tackling, very, very close to the routes.
As you've said time and time again on this podcast, you will not be beat by the best receiver on the team.
Yeah.
Right. If your other receivers beat you and you have a well-balanced team, fine by me.
Yeah.
It's like you guys actually officially won it. But look what they did. It's like you said. They triple-teamed the best receiver on their team, and they couldn't capitalize on it with any other team. They ended with a single touchdown and 1 field goal.
Yep.
That's it. And not to mention, the Bills turned the ball over 4 times. And what were they able to do with it? They scored once. So it's just amazing to see the testament to the Bills' defense this year, and how destructive the decision of adding Von Miller.
You and I both said we didn't doubt Von Miller's ability. We just doubted the length of the contract.
That's right.
And when we were watching the game, I said, man, the Bills are looking like mad geniuses for sending over Von Miller away from the Rams.
Absolutely,
They look like a different team when he's on, like when they were on his side.
That's a great point to bring up too. Is that we never once really talked about or really downgraded his ability. Right, it was just the length of the contract. It's like you said, he's older, he's getting up there in years, and 7 years. If I remember correctly, it was 7 years, right?
Yeah,
it was about 6, 7 years. Yeah, 6, 7 years. We're a little worried there because he is getting up there, right? Won the Super Bowl MVP back in Super Bowl 50, right? Just a phenomenal performance on his end. One of the very, very, very few defensive players to have won the Super Bowl MVP award, right, or accolade, if you want to call it that. It's incredible to still see him performing at this level this late in his career. It's absolutely amazing, especially for a team that is slated to go to the Super Bowl.
And what we talked about Von Miller too is that we said like he's a good veteran presence for later in the playoffs. In the regular season, maybe not so much, but starting off fast off the gates here in the regular season.
He's gonna have to. He's definitely put a good start into developing trust from the Bills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if the Bills continue to perform this way and Von Miller still continues to hold up his end of the bargain, oh my goodness, you can only imagine the heights that defense can go.
Yeah. No, and really quickly, talked a lot about the defense. Incredible play by the safety Jordan Poyer, one of the key interceptions of the game. The defensive lineman Boogie Basham getting that tipped interception, the second-year player. Good for him. Dane Jackson, another key interception. So point is that Matthew Stafford threw his interceptions later in the game, and Josh Allen threw them earlier in the game, and that really, really affected as far as what was going on.
Right.
When there was a turnover by the Bills, Matthew Stafford threw an interception, supposed to getting points, and then when the Bills got the turnover, like you said, they capitalized. They either got I don't remember them kicking a field goal. Like maybe a couple times, but
I don't even think they kicked a field goal. Well, okay.
It
well,
started with the 10, so they had to kick one, but they scored touchdowns.
That's right.
On the possession.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and exactly. It's like most of the Bills scoring, they kicked one field goal, but the rest of them were touchdowns.
Yeah.
And they were all passing touchdowns. And what did if you have the stats pulled up right there, what did Josh Allen end with?
So he ended with 297 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 10 carries, 56 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. So all of the touchdowns were done by Josh Allen.
And what was that completion percentage on there?
I don't see the completion percentage. 26 of 31. I'll go ahead and pull up the.
Oh no! That's
no, I got it. It won't take long.
26
83%. 83% to start off the game, to start off the season. Now, granted, like we said, we don't like the interceptions, but he's living up to his expectations about playing MVP. Really quickly, though, for the Rams, about the disappointment, where was Allen Robinson in that game?
Oh, honestly.
We did not see him get a single ball this game.
Oh, we could ask the same question about Jalen Ramsey. Where the heck was Jalen Ramsey? The guy that is expected to be the best cornerback, arguably the best cornerback in the league.
Yes.
How exactly? It's like we're seeing the same Jalen Ramsey that we saw last year in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's something to be said that, look, you get beat as a corner a couple times, but the fact that Stephon Diggs, now, if it was a busted coverage and you thought there was safety help, I'm talking about the 56-yard touchdown.
Right, yes.
People, so that you understand some context, where Josh Allen rolls to his right and then chucks it deep to Stephon Diggs. He catches it while he's falling and rolls into the end zone. He was beat really badly that he was able to roll into the end zone. Now, if he thought there was safety help behind him, Jose, I can kind of get it, but it looked like deep coverage, like cover deep, like it was a cover four defense. What that means is that 4 guys head deep. You got a quarter of the field to your left, to the middle left, to the middle right, to the right. Mm-hmm. So if it was just one-on-one, there's no excuse, man. That's just awful play. Or that was either way, it's bad. It's a busted coverage, or it was an awful play by Ramsey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just one of the many disappointments for this Rams team today.
Absolutely.
In their ceremonial game.
Now, here's the thing, too.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald did his very best this game.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything very spectacular, but he also didn't take himself out of the conversation of being the best defensive player in the NFL. No. There's no doubt about it, he is. It's his league, on defensively speaking.
Yes.
Right? However, that Bills offensive line was able to hold him the entire game. Not one time did he break through.
He really missed that Von Miller with him on the other side to take some of that pressure off of him. It was double team every single play, if not triple. And there was one key third down play. This is the pass that you saw Josh Allen. It was a 3rd and 5, and the receiver ran a simple out route with the linebacker covering him and Jalen Ramsey coming in. He catches it, dives forward. What happened in that play that we both love? Aaron Donald was pushed upfield. He was pushed upfield, and he wasn't pushed. He didn't push the guard into Josh Allen. He pushed him upfield and gave Josh Allen enough time to look, read, and get rid of it. By the way, that's another thing. They were very quick with the ball tonight.
They were.
Aaron Donald got 1 sack tonight. It was early in the game, and then they adjusted like, we're getting rid of this ball quick.
Yeah.
And then later in the game, they got those big plays when the defenses played sloppy.
I'm just beyond impressed by his ball placement. And I'm speaking about Josh Allen.
Yeah.
His ball placement, his accuracy, as well as his level-headedness throughout the entire game as well. I mean, he was under pressure. The offensive line was not perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we can definitely say that. There were a few times where they allowed the defense to break through.
Yeah.
Especially, when you have a guy like Aaron Donald on the other side of the ball, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
Right. But even with that being said, it was Josh Allen's job to stay level-headed, to stay in the game, and that was most definitely what he did.
And here's what
absolutely, and you saw that with that 50-plus yard touchdown pass.
Absolutely, dude. And here's what I'll say about him. You know me. I did not like them picking this guy.
You did. We were bringing that up earlier.
I hated this pick, and I'm glad to say that I was wrong. And here's the thing. He's a dual quarterback, no doubt. Mobile, but on the plays that he needed to stay in the pocket and pass it and make those passes, he did them. He's doing that. Like, that's something incredible, is that when he just stays in the pocket calmly, throws the ball perfectly.
Absolutely.
And some of those touchdowns, like you said, like perfect elite ball placement. And man, this is a great first week for him. Bad turnovers, but he was able to make up for him and able to push out when the game was tied and they needed him to play better. He played better.
For him to be in the MVP conversation later on in the season, it is very important for him to cut down on those. To cut down on those picks. However, I have complete faith in him. Yeah. I truly do. Now, we've been talking a lot about the Bills, and we've talked about the faults of the Rams. I don't want to go away with just a negative image of the LA Rams, because obviously they are the reigning champs, right? And they got there for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did want to mention some good things that the Los Angeles Rams did tonight. One of which was, again, Aaron Donald. Yeah. Aaron Donald did all that he possibly could do, right? He did get that 1 sack. He was the shining light of the team tonight. That's for sure. But as well as Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford actually had a few good moments, but in the first half of the game, he had a few good moments there. Cooper Kupp is still looking phenomenal, right? He's able to evade the defense in a way that is pretty much damn near intuitive. Ricardo, it's like he can see where the defense is going before it happens. Yeah. Right? It's very, very, he's able to predict what exactly the safeties are going to be doing and what exactly the defense is going to be doing before, like I said, before they actually do it.
Well, that first touchdown is a great example of it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. And that two-toe down, that two-toe down touchdown by Cooper Kupp, that was a phenomenal, just classic Cooper Kupp catch. Yeah. Right? So I did want to say that. And Aaron Donald, again, just giving it his all, just proving to everybody that it is his league, right? But two players can only do so much.
I will say this: we did see some no-name Rams play up to par tonight, and it was early in the first half, but still they played up to par. They did. It was one of the linebackers and then another one of the corners who made key turnovers for the Rams. It wasn't Ramsey or Wagner or Aaron Donald; it was the other player. So that's very, very good to watch if you're a head coach. Like, you can build off of that as well.
That's for sure.
It's not the end of the season. The Bills didn't win the Super Bowl the first week. The Rams didn't lose the Super Bowl in the first week. No. It's the first week of the season.
Yeah. So
this goes to every single team as far as how they're looking. It's just one game. It's just a matter of how they respond.
Both of these teams have 16 more games to look forward to. Yeah. So at this point in time, it's looking. The Rams had a rough start. Yeah. They had a very rough start, and the Bills just had a day, man. Yeah. Holy crap, man! They came out of nowhere. Again, we expected the Bills to win, but we did not expect them to win by this kind of margin. It's insane. It is absolutely incredible to see, and I'm very excited to see what the Bills do.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I'm not getting too excited because, again, they're in my division, and I'm supposed to hate them. I'm supposed to, but. It's hard for me to. It's very difficult.
You can't
for me
help but root for them as far as a team that's built everything the right way, from the head coach down up. They got each individual player. They got the quarterback, then they got the quarterback weapons. They got the defense, and then they got another defensive player. Von Miller is looking like a great piece to the puzzle so far as how they're looking. First week still, we won't get ahead of ourselves, but it's looking very great. And if you want, we can go over the next couple teams that are for this upcoming week.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Let's go right ahead. Yeah, let's go into it.
So we got New Orleans at Atlanta. It's gonna be. We've gone over our predictions of the game. We just can go based off what we want to look. It's going to be interesting to see Atlanta going against a divisional rival. It's going to be whether Jameis can finally be a good quarterback that he wants to be. I don't believe that he can.
Personally, I don't believe so either.
Yeah.
He's already had his chance to really prove himself with Tampa Bay when he was with that team prior to them. Prior to being with New Orleans, he also played backup to Drew Brees, right? One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, for sure.
Sean McVay's no longer there anymore. That's a very important thing.
That's right. So Jameis Winston, although he has some weapons around him, some new weapons like Chris Olave coming out of Ohio State, it's just I don't believe that Jameis Winston can do it. However, not a lot of their games are really going to be blowouts because obviously the New Orleans Saints defense is still a very, very big, strong piece to that puzzle.
Worst, they'll probably be a top 10 defense, and that's at worst.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, they have that to look forward to. I don't see them getting just absolutely blown out. Maybe on a bad day, right? But it against an elite offense, but that is very far and few.
And for the Atlanta Falcons, if I'm an Atlanta fan, I'm looking for my young players to contribute and show some promise. I'm looking at Kyle Pitts. I'm looking at Drake London. I'm looking at some of the defenders that I have right there. I'm looking to see them flashes. You're not going to win a bunch of games this year, but you want to see the flashes. You want to see the potential.
It is also fair to mention that Marcus Mariota has been ranked 32nd. I mean, he is like dead last in the quarterback power rankings. I personally don't think that he is dead last. I don't think he's the worst, but they had to place him there because of just where the Atlanta Falcons are placed as a team as well, and just based off of the weapons that he has around him. He obviously he has one of the weaker he has one of the weaker offenses around him, but that doesn't mean that Marcus Mariota can't deliver something to that team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's move on to the next game.
Yeah, the next game that I see on here would be the game that people are paying attention to, Cleveland at Carolina.
That's right.
Baker's giving a lot of hype to this game because he looked good in some couple preseason games. I'm going to bear down the truth and the reality that the Browns might end up winning the Panthers out in this game.
They will. I personally believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're the Panthers, you're just looking to see consistency, if any. Trying to see and whatnot. Some people got him to be a playoff team. Like, that's a stretch. That's a stretch right there for me as well.
For sure.
If I'm a Cleveland fan, I'm looking to see how my defense performs, how my offense performs, all the other pieces around it, to when Deshaun Watson comes back, and Jacoby Brissett is no scrub. He's
absolutely not.
League before, so
that's right.
I can see them lead. I can see them having the Cleveland Browns have a winning record by the time Deshaun gets back.
That's right. Yeah, back in 2015-16 when Tom Brady was out for about 5 weeks in the regular season, Jimmy Garoppolo stood up, won 2 games if I remember correctly. For the New England Patriots. He got hurt. He stepped out. He had to step out, right? And then Jacoby Brissett came in, won a game, lost another one. Yeah. But either way, he still showed talent. Yeah. All right, for a third-string quarterback for the New England Patriots, holy crap! I mean, the kid delivered. He really did. So
absolutely.
Personally, I do think that Jacoby Brissett can help the Cleveland Browns these next 11 weeks.
Yeah, all he has to do is not mess it up.
That's right.
Not mess it up.
That's right.
And see what we can do about it. Baker, good luck to him. He might look good for this game, but I don't see them doing much. This is really a bad team, and we'll see it once the season starts. And Christian McCaffrey, as much as I like him, he's been injury prone the last couple of years.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, I don't
wish that on him, but I can't ignore the facts in front of me.
That's right. Yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah.
All right, so how about the next one?
Next game is San Francisco at Chicago. Going to be a blowout, but here's the key thing. We're going to see how Trey Lance is looking. How his mechanics.
Absolutely.
How comfortable he is leading the offense down the field? How comfortable is he when there's blitz in his face and he has to stay in there and take that hit?
Plenty of potential.
Yeah.
And of course, you still have weapons like Deebo Samuel.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the best
George
players.
Kittle.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the best tight ends in the NFL, as well as one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Absolutely.
So yeah, those two are no scrubs. So they'll definitely be able to help out Trey Lance.
San Francisco, a top 5 defense in the league, easy.
Easy.
Nick Bosa leading them, and it's just a matter. I feel like there's a reason they kept Jimmy Garoppolo.
I feel like there is too, but at the same time, Trey Lance definitely has a lot more promise. I feel like personally we have seen all that we can see from Jimmy G.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
What my thing is that San Francisco has him as an insurance policy in case Trey Lance doesn't look like he's living up to potential. But I'm of the believe in mindset, Jose. You gotta let a young player play it out. There's
Absolutely,
gonna be bad
yeah.
games. You gotta let him stay on the team to show that is his team. And then when he starts to get better and better in increments, it can come naturally as opposed to taking him out, putting him back in, that uncertainty. Once he has him starting, that's his team.
There's a reason why we moved on from the second string QB or the new QB with the clipboard on the sidelines.
Yes.
There's a reason why we moved on.
And then we got on the other side of the field, we got a poor young quarterback who's going to get no help at all. He's going to get destroyed in this game at Justin Fields, which is very, very sad because
the kid looked fantastic in college, man. I mean, I really have all the faith in the world in him. It's just he's just put in the worst possible position, and I feel terrible. I really do.
Yeah.
So.
It's just a matter of the strategy they're going to use. And let's move on to the next game.
All right.
We got Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Now, Pittsburgh, very, very solid team, but no quarterback.
Mitchell Trubisky has been announced to start for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's going to be a tough ride for Pittsburgh Nation, honestly.
Because they have the talent everywhere else except quarterback.
Excuse me.
No, you're one thing I want to mention, Jose, that's making me laugh and love this, because you know how much I love this QB class of this year from the draft class.
Right.
There's not going to be a single starting rookie QB to start the season. This doesn't happen in 15 years.
Wow.
That goes to show the promise of these quarterbacks that were drafted.
All the talk that was being put on them before the draft as well. Well, and when you have a quarterback like Joe Chill Burrow, as I like to call him as well, Joe Burrow on the other side of the ball, as well as just that ever-developing offensive line, he's going to get better protection this next year, as well as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the offensive side. It's going to be hard to beat that team now.
I'm
very mature coming off of a Super Bowl loss.
Very exciting and very angry too. Very eager to prove the point that they weren't just a flash in the pan.
They're not going to win. They're not going to allow themselves to lose that game.
What's scary, dude, is that they have a better offensive line. And you mentioned in a previous podcast how many off-placement balls Jamar Chase had to adjust in his rookie year to get those stats. Joe Burrow's going to have that time to deliver more accurate football. And that's only
because Joe Burrow has just been under so much pressure. Yeah. But let's go ahead and move on to the next game.
Absolutely. We got Philly at Detroit. Going to be very, very tough game.
A game of heart.
Yep.
Definitely, yeah. You have a young team in the Philadelphia Eagles, and you have a Hard Knocks team, right?
Yeah.
In the Detroit Lions, right? Just paying some respect to the Hard Knocks documentary that they put out.
Absolutely.
For the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, I mean, I have so much respect for this team. Not because they're great by any means, not by any stretch, right? But they play with so much grit, right? They're probably the grittiest football team in the NFL.
And that's what you want in a franchise, Jose. You want to be built the right way, and that's how you want players that care, players that try their hardest and want to win.
Especially with a driven head coach as well.
Yeah. And Philadelphia, it's going to be a test for them. It's like, is this going to be the same old Eagles about like all fluff and no results? Or are they going to prove themselves to be a good team in this league as far as winning the games that they should? Yeah. All right, moving on to the next game. We got a blowout, Indianapolis with Houston. Not too much to talk about this. We're just going to pay attention as far as can Jonathan Taylor keep up his momentum from last year? Can Matt Ryan look a lot better than what he did with Atlanta with no help on there? And a great defense to back him up with the Colts. We'll see. Take two of using a quarterback, like don't mess it up, of a talented looking quarterback. But to be fair, Matt Ryan does not throw as many boneheaded interceptions as Carson Wentz does.
Absolutely, yeah, and I was actually just about to say that. Matt Ryan is much more of a veteran quarterback than what Carson Wentz is.
Yeah.
For sure. Go ahead and move on to the next one.
Yeah, this is the game I'm curious to see because I'm interested to see how this works out. If it's going to be the other disaster that I think it's going to be. It's going to be New England versus Miami.
I was just thinking that as well. I mean, New England, of course, is there's a lot of doubt in my mind, especially on my team, and I have to be critical of my team, right? Because or else, what kind of fan am I?
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to be a Dallas Cowboys fan.
No,
all right?
thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry, Dallas.
Yeah.
So here's my concern right now is it seems like Mac Jones is just worried. He's worried about the new system. He's worried about the fact that Bill Belichick's stubbornness and his reluctance to hire an offensive coordinator because he wants to be the one that calls the plays. Even though Matt Patricia is going to he's going to be the one to help call offensive plays. I'm not entirely sure how the process is going to work, but Bill Belichick's comment worried me a little bit. He said, "It's my team. I'm the one that makes the decisions, and that is final. That's always how it's been." All right, so that's why that kind of gave me the answer. I said, "Is this why Tom Brady left? Is this why Tom Brady left?" Again, this is just me speculating, but this is the conspiracy theory that's stirring my head.
No, of course.
But that's the thing. It's like your quarterback, as young as he is, should not be this worried, and that's really what's leaving a pit in my stomach. Ricardo.
Let's rewind back to 2001 when Tom Brady was trying to lead this team as a young quarterback.
Right.
What did he have compared to Mac Jones? Stability.
He did.
Stability at the coordinator position, at an offensive guy who knew what he was doing, at Charlie Weiss, and then a good mentor to look at Drew Bledsoe as quarterback. People forget how great and help he was to Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
To help him be like, you got this, mature, and go with this. Now, I've said this all off season, dude. I'm worried because no weapons of note to see. I mean, can you say that the 3 Miami Dolphins wide receivers are better than the Patriots' top receivers?
I could say that, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you have Tyreek Hill, right, from Kansas City, who was sent away to Miami.
Yeah.
And you, of course, Tua. I don't believe that Tua is a better quarterback than Mac Jones. That's just not what I believe.
No.
Right. However, they have the better talent in the wide receiver category. So that's the thing that worries me. Yeah. And there's really no doubt coming from the Miami Dolphins. Either that, or they're just hiding it very well. Right. So
they're hiding it very well because we both do not have faith in the quarterback. So, yeah, you said Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, you got a track team of receivers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Jalen Waddle is most definitely a top-tier receiver.
Cedric Wilson from the Cowboys, who's a very good slot guy going on there. But, Belichick concerns me because I think he's getting to the point where it's irreversible, his stubbornness, and it's going to affect the quarterback, and it really hurts me because I don't want the whole talk to be, see, I told you Mac Jones wasn't good enough. I told you he's a bum. I told you he was being carried by the Patriots offense, and when I know that's not the truth because they have no weapons, the offensive line is looking awful. And one of the things that bothers me, we talk about technique. You talk about the zone running from the Broncos.
Right.
The Patriots are known, bread and butter, for the past 20 years, gap technique.
Yes.
Now, what gap technique is that an old lineman has a hole, a zone responsibility that he's responsible for. It's literally right in front of him. It's right in front of him, or in case he moves and goes to the outside, then it's that area right there. There's a reason why they're separate systems, because certain players are better at certain systems, and the Patriots' offensive, their excellence was from that gap technique running, that old school I formation, 2 tight end, fullback set of running the ball down your throat and getting some good offensive plays to try to get play action. They're switching to a zone running scheme where they're not built for Jose, and it's gonna be a disaster. It's just,
oh my gosh,
it's good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough to see, and that's what bothers me. It's like he's a second-year quarterback. If you try this with Tom Brady, fine, they'll try to make it work.
Oh, of course.
He's a veteran. Prior to him leaving for Tampa, he's a veteran. He can do it. But this is a second-year quarterback who needs stability.
And you're already putting all this pressure on him.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, yes, you had a less than adequate quarterback in Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. Fine. We sent him away. Okay. Now we have a quarterback with so much potential.
Yeah.
So much potential. Had we set him up for success, but I don't think that we have at all. And I think that's the reason why Miami is going to take it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm sorry to my team, but I'm also not sorry. It's like this is the position that
It's
we've
at
been
home for Miami too.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's in Miami. I'm giving it to the Dolphins.
Yes. All right, next game is going to be Baltimore at New York. So the two main storylines I'm going to be looking at from the one from each team, Lamar Jackson playing without a contract, that just gets me scared to death, dude, because he is a guy who gets in most position to get hurt and get injured and practically affects his whole career.
Right.
I want him to sign that contract, get his money secure, and then start playing. And this whole back and forth contract negotiations that's going on with him gets me very worried. But that's the main thing we see from the Baltimore Ravens, and a lot of healthy players coming back, potentially trying to show like, hey, we were a dominant team in the AFC before we started having these injuries.
Yeah.
Like Lamar Jackson has won 37 of his first 45 games. Like there's a reason why this is going on. So, and then for the New York Jets, our good old savior Zach Wilson getting hurt before the season starts, man. Oh,
And now we have Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
His former ball club.
Yeah.
Going up against his former ball club.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what else is there to say?
There's
really?
nothing more to say.
There's nothing more at all.
Specifically for these next two games we're going to talk about, but it's going to be Jacksonville at Washington. Battle of two horrible teams. You got anything else to add, Jose? Like,
Not really at all. Let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah. Another battle of two horrible teams. We got New York at Tennessee.
Yep.
Moving on.
All right, moving on from that as well.
Kansas City.
My goodness.
Kansas City at Arizona. Potential like high shooting game is like as far as like how they're looking. Now it's going to be interesting to see Kyler Murray start off the season without DeAndre Hopkins and prove that he's worth all that beautiful money that he cried for.
Yeah. So here's that. Yep. That's going to be the top conversational topic, and it already has been.
Yeah.
Those are permeating the sports highlights.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that Kyler Murray is going to have to perform without his top target.
Yep.
All right. So we'll see how he does then. Do we have faith in him? No. And we're saying it right now. No.
And here's Mahomes trying to starting life without Tyreek Hill. Definitely a new world for him. See how he adjusts to it. And we believe that he can get better and become a better quarterback and change his style of play. Will it take time? Yes, it will.
It's like something like that. It's as if something like this had to happen for Patrick Mahomes. I'm not willing it onto him per se, but it seems as though this is something that he had to have happen to him, and this is why. Patrick Mahomes has been a very hyped up quarterback, but he's justified a lot of that hype. He has performed at a very high level very early in his career. However, it's always just been high shooting, right? It's all been deep passes down the field to Tyreek Hill because he's able to beat out any defender that's in front of him, right? There's a reason why they call him the cheetah, right? But at this point in time, Patrick Mahomes' football IQ is really going to be in question now. Right? Is he able to pass the ball under pressure? Is he able to make smart plays as opposed to the athletic play?
Yeah, and here's the thing is that it's every great quarterback goes through this. Tom Brady, when he first early in his career, he had to rely on defense and a strong kicker to help him win. Now later in his career, he proved that his worth as far as winning on his resume, with him being the best player on the team,
on his own terms,
throwing the ball, becoming more the reason of the offensive to go. So we're excited to see Patrick Mahomes in the new stage of his career as far as playing differently as a quarterback.
That's right.
Now this next game is going to be a very tight and very good game for this league. It's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Beautiful.
That's going to be fantastic. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders, you predicted to be third place in that division.
Yeah.
And that division is no pushover.
No.
Holy crap. And then you predicted that the Chargers were going to win.
Yep.
Now, I did agree with you. I did say that the Los Angeles Chargers were going to win the division. However, I personally still believe that the Raiders are going to be last place. Only because I think that the Denver Broncos are going to step up, and I think Russell Wilson is really going to make a statement this year. I do hear your concerns about the new head coach as well as the veteran quarterback in a new system.
Yeah.
But I believe that the two of them can work together, especially with the talent that they have on both sides of the ball. Being as complete of a team as they are, they can come together and they can really put something special together this season.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. I'm very, very excited. This is probably going to be the main game that I watch. And as a Cardinals fan, like I said, this is going to be the main game that I watch.
For sure.
It's going to be very interesting. We could talk on and on. But
absolutely. Yeah. Let's go ahead.
To the next game. We got Green Bay at Minnesota. Some people have Minnesota as a sleeper division winner for the league. We'll see. We'll see if they can take advantage of I wouldn't say falling apart Green Bay team, but a very much different Green Bay
Well,
team.
you also have Minnesota, one of the most inconsistent teams in the NFL.
Exactly.
They have all the talent in the world, but again, it's their quarterback situation that has come into question.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he's able to perform on day one.
Yep.
Right. As well as the Green Bay Packers, you do have one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to take that money and run with it? Probably. But he also doesn't have Devontae Adams,
Nope.
who is supposedly the best wide receiver in the NFL. I highly disagree with that claim. So do you. But that's beside the point. Point is, Green Bay is probably going to take that win away because Minnesota. I can't throw my money on Minnesota because I just have no idea how they're going to perform that week.
No idea at all.
Yeah.
And then the Sunday night game is going to be Tampa Bay at Dallas. It's going to be a very testament as far as how Tampa plays right now because they're very much. They're going to be a worried team. Tom Brady's been gone for 11 days. Their offensive line is injured. Are they going to be able to perform? I believe Tampa Bay is going to bring people back to reality and show a strong win on the road at Dallas, proving, hey, we're still here. We're still going to be a contender when the season keeps going. And that's the faith I have with Tom Brady. He hasn't shown me anything different. And if things go sour for them and go wrong, then it's going to be the story of how, man, Tom Brady should have stayed retired. Would have helped the mystique even more. But but we'll see what happens in this game. We got another team with Dallas who has a disheveled offensive line situation going on there as well. You got a left guard playing left tackle for whatever reason.
That's an odd decision.
Tyler Smith, who has the most holding penalties when he was in college the year before, started off the preseason with a lot of holding penalties. Going to be very, very exciting for Dak Prescott to work around that.
Right.
You got any more to add to that, Jose?
Not so much anymore. Now we've said this early on in the podcast. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we predict that they're going to make another Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
That's just what we believe, right? And that's also if the defense stays healthy this coming year. Last year, they very easily could have done that. They could have beaten the LA Rams. It's just they just went into that game just very smoked. Yeah. They were just burnt out. Everybody was. It was very worrisome. It was devastating to see.
Yeah.
Like I was heartbroken by that.
Yeah.
But at the very same time, we see a healthier team. We see Tom Brady with eyes on fire, and we know what that means.
Yep.
That means he's not going to let anything pass through him. He's not going to let anything pass through him. He's not going to let anything affect him. So I have all the faith in the world in Tom Brady. Always have. So I believe that he's going to make a Super Bowl run. So do you, as well as the Buffalo Bills making the Super Bowl run as well. That's our early on prediction is the Bucks and the Bills.
And then for Monday night, we're going to be talking about your guy, Denver going against Seattle.
That's
Russell
right.
Wilson
That's
against
right.
the worst team in the league.
Pretty much the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
We predict them to have the worst record of all the teams.
Yeah.
And it's going to be him going up against his old ball club. It's going to be an easy win for Russell Wilson, right? I'm a Russell Wilson fanatic this year, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I mean, I can't get enough Russell Wilson. Call me Shannon Sharp's kid, right? Yeah, because I'm all about Russell Wilson. I'm all about Denver, right? Now, that's not to say that I'm gonna turn my back on the Patriots. Obviously, the Patriots are my home. But I think Denver's going to be the team that I'll vicariously root for.
Denver's going to be your AFC West team. The Chargers are going to be my AFC West
That's
team.
right. That's right. Yeah, because I'm very excited. I'm very excited. If the season's already starting off like this, where the Bills blow out the Rams at home, I can't wait.
Yep.
I can't wait.
We got to
really
see plenty to watch, and we're going to be very, very excited to go this season with you guys. Really, really appreciate you guys listening to us. And like Jose always says, if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe on YouTube, or please follow our Instagram page, which
at RJ Talks _11.
Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for listening. All right, and have a good one. We will see you next week.
Yep. See you guys.